All right, I'm giving a gift after I drop this powerful information. I always tell y'all to look because visual is everything, just like sound. I tall like money, I tall like mine eye. Always tells you about that sound as well. Remedy H tells you all that stuff. I'll be trying to tell y'all too. Your mind has to change, the way you think has to change, the way you speak has to change because God is changing, just like Remedy H is saying, and other people as well. And you can't stay in the same mindset no more. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you before I go in even deeper, when you know your scriptures, once again, Revelation chapter 12, when this shift is taking place, the prophecy, they start talking about a man child. I said, how a man child? What does that mean? Well, you don't understand metaphysics. That's why if you really knew your Bibles, whenever something is about to change or become new, because it's always about death and rebirth. That's why your Bible always talking about the serpent. John chapter 3, that's the biggest scripture that the Christians use. Oh, be born again, be born again. Well, that's death and rebirth. He said, do I got to go back in my mother's womb and be born again? So you're always going to see that child come up, or that young person. Now with Mary, Mother Mary, people say that when Archangel Gabriel came to Mary to tell her she was going to be pregnant with the Messiah, that she was only between 13 and 16 years old. Now I know in this modern day and time, y'all flip out. But that's why I just got finished telling you. You gotta go to spirit. It is what it is. So prophecies can come. Now why is that important? Because somebody might be trying to give you a message from God or prophecy, but you're so stupid. There could be some strange stuff going on with a bird outside and you don't even look at the bird. You don't listen. No, because you want some, oh, the bird came, whatever. So you don't get the prophecy and stuff. So I try to do what God tell me to do. Now I've been teaching you all about the sun. These are what I call a sun tribe. Now I'm about to show you something. That's what you gotta look. You gotta get familiar. Because even the sound is giving you the power. You gotta remember, many times in the Bible, a young person was used to give a prophecy, and the immediate response was, "What can that little kid tell me?" Because they're so smart. A lot of people looked at Jesus and said, What's he gonna do? What's this little baby gonna do? This baby gonna free us from her?" So they're not listening, and you can't help people like that. But they go. You pay for that though. My people perish due to lack of knowledge. So now, that's why I'm saying make sure you're looking at the pictures. Main thing is the tattoo. Now, a lot was going on today because I didn't know what was going on. Like God has been showing me tigers and all that from since 2018. Since May of 2018, God has been showing me tigers or if y'all ever said like a yellow jacket, those are like kind of like bees or whatever, but they all got that yellow body and that black, and I never really got it. I never knew what it meant, but God makes sure I remember everything He's telling me, because since 2009, when He basically began to teach me, and He took it step by step, but He began to teach me about this whole destruction of the devil and the return of the power to the melanated people. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should be on this channel looking up those scriptures and stuff because I already gave these videos. And they get ready to make some changes like RFG Chosen One says, so you don't know what's going to happen. So remember, best way to find me is probably by Archangel Revelations because I'll still be out there no matter what happens. There's other spots out here. Even if you're looking at the picture like I told you to, it's a spot that's blowing up right now. I think it's mostly for Mount Mobile. This is my first time seeing this. But it's because, like I said, God is getting you ready for whatever happened. Because I think after December 10th or 11th, I think it's December 10th or whatever, they're going to try some slick shit. But it is what it is. So we're talking about the Sun people, the Sun tribes. And I'm going to show you the metaphysics behind it. Now, this picture I would have never have seen if it wasn't for a picture Thomas Moore sent me. Now, Nipsey Hussle has a cousin, and she looks exactly like Thomas Moore's twin flame, meaning his other self. And I mean that for real. Like same soul, different body. That's why I'm saying if you're not up on it, you're already slipping. Because that's behind all of this. That's the main thing God told me in 2009. And that's when he began to tell me a couple of things. Like out here, y'all got Sheckmek. But I don't know if y'all know who she is. But she's on my channel. Because I try to put all the master teachers on the channel. Now, if you don't know who Sheckmek is, you can find her by SEKHMET. I'm going to read that again. SEKHMET. And then type Mayans Egyptians. 3 words. Sheckmek Mayans Egyptians. Because she gives you a lot of history too. Because you got to get familiar with what's going on. Because we're not going by the Matrix no more. We're not. Their time is up. Like they literally have no power over you. And the more you tap back into who you really are, the greater you're going to see the authority. But your authority. But you got to do it. Nobody can do it for you. Because otherwise, it's somebody talking and people doing what groupies do. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was good. Oh, that was real. And they're going to keep on doing the same old stupid low-level vibrational shit that they do. So when you go to her channel, and the ones I gave you in the other video right before this one, you have so much knowledge. Because it's out there now because you can't stay, you won't be allowed by the universe to stay low vibrational. You won't be allowed to be blaming a white man for everything that goes on in your life. It's not happening. The writings are when the Lord says you're free, says you're free indeed. You got to get up and get the fuck about it. That's what you say. Give me that deed too, cause you ain't never gonna put me in slave no more. I want all my paperwork. Free indeed. Get that deed. Get all the paperwork. So motherfucker can't try. Oh no, he ain't free right here. If he free, how come I still got? Now you ain't got shit. Give it to me. Give it to me, devil. And you get out there because if you don't come, the master do me good. I'm scared. I'm gonna stay here. Well, then you gonna get the same thing that master get, and then what that master about to get is judgment. So I gave you Sheckmek because she tells you how a lot of civilization was with the ancient India, and that's what the Nagars was too. The Nagar serpents and all that, and even like they said, they gave another video I showed y'all recently on this channel, like one of the last 2 or 3 videos from this one or before this one. You see all the melanated people in Egypt. Even there's a video out here called From Nagar, talking about the serpents. From Nagar to Nigger. That talks a lot about this as well. But now these sun tribes, I want to go into that. And like I said, then I want to give you this gift that comes with the people that make it to the end. So anyway, when he gave me that picture of that female, because like I said, it's not really me. It's really God, the universe working through me. Guides, whoever's doing it. So I said, hold up, this chick do look like Kiara. And she's a master teacher too. I never saw anybody describe Egypt as good as she did. So I said, okay, I'm going to find out, is there any other females around that look like, because they really do look a lot alike. But I have been telling Thomas Moore that Kiara is like, she like you got Khalifa, because a lot of like my best female friends are all in Cali or on the west side. If you all know who our whole Khalifa is, that's where they named Cali from. And even they got a black Cali in India. See, it's the same energy, the same power. And these are warrior women. They kill massively. So even there's a video I got. I told y'all where to go. If you go to that dude's channel, open it up, you're gonna see Khalifa. But that's the original Wonder Woman. Because when these other people was trying to overthrow this world, they was meeting women like that, like warrior women. And so I'm gonna tell y'all again, when they overthrew these locations, they set up their forts because they was using the technology. Like even out here, they say right where I'm at, used to be nothing but so-called Native Americans. These was the melanated people, but these are children of the gods, the God bloodline, and that's why you see the red dragon in Revelation 12. And if you talk about Esau and Jacob, Esau kept going the red, give me the red. That red and all that is talking about a bloodline. That's why when they talk about Messiah, they're talking about his blood. Oh, his blood save you. His blood save you. So you get the watered down religious version of it. But when you connect it right back to the metaphysics, you understand it. And we're not gonna get too much into the God, because people like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad already told you God. And then some people would say arms, leg, arm, head. So I'm not gonna get all into the blood and all that. You either believe it or you don't. So now, the reason why this God is before you. Well, let me before I go there, because as far as that's in scripture too. You're supposed to be calling yourself God and Goddess. See, the Europeans told you don't do it because they don't want you to know who you are. But when you read the Bible, Messiah was calling himself God. I am God. I am God. And what? And he said that we was the same way. He said in John chapter 7, John chapter 17, John chapter 10. So you're either going to listen to the Great Spirit or you're going to listen to some lion-ass humans that came out of caves and shit. That's up to you. But we can't be held back. Like the people that are waking up, they can't be held back no more. So again, in 2009, God be telling me these connections, and he's always. I'm still learning. Like this can go over span. So 2000, that's 10 years ago. Like the name God gave me, he made me wait 20 years before he told me what it meant. I didn't even know the name God gave me was in the Bible. But he gave me that name in 1992. He didn't show me what it meant until I think it was 2002. So he made me wait 10 years. And then even then I saw the name in the Bible, but then he had to show me what it meant. Because I was looking all over, I couldn't find it. So it's only at his time, his revelation. Just like a famous preacher that did a lot of his ministry in Africa died today. A Christian preacher that did a lot of his work in Africa died on the same day these revelations came. This is December 9th, 2019. And I think that guy was a German or something. Because you got to understand, like a lot of, they poisoning the people with fake, stuff. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be careful. So now, around the same time, 2009, guys started teaching me about India. Had all these strange things with people from India and stuff. Went on and on and on and on and on. And then the Dominican Republic. So this has been going on since 2009. And it's all under the Twin Flames umbrella. So didn't understand it then, but now I understand it. So what God is showing you is all your connections. And when you study the real history of this planet, that's what you're seeing. You're seeing ancient Egyptians, ancient people from that area I was speaking on, and then you get all these different tribes and all these different races of people. But you can just look at those people and see so many similarities, even in the belief system. So this is really the same family. All the devil did was divide and conquer. So now he got people killing each other because they know they both Korean, But they're gonna kill each other because, oh, well, you from the north, you from the south. That's the most stupidest shit in the world. But unfortunately, he was given the power to be able to do that. But more and more and more, now that we're at the end of his great world, and I'm saying that like sarcastically, his power ain't working no more. And just like Nania said that towards the end, it's gonna be glitches all over the place, and you're gonna be able to see past this matrix and this technology they're using. So when God is doing something new in your life, depending on who you are, you may see that. Because God comes in 3 levels of a female. You got either the young girl or the teenager. You got the woman, and then you got the crone. Now, if you see the crone in your dreams, that's the old lady. If you see the crones in your dream or passing you, that's the end of something. And all these initiations occur when you're about to go to a different enlightenment, or God's going to take you to a different level. You'll have initiations. So that's why you really have to stay awake. But most people are kind of dumbed down. They're too caught up in this world. And those are the people that are waiting to see a big boom. But he's never going to do it with a big boom. It's up to you to stay awake. It's up to you to have your spiritual eyes trained and spiritual ears trained. Because otherwise, like I said, it'll be going over your head, going over your head, going over your head. And you could actually get yourself in a lot of stuff you won't be able to get out of. Because one thing about God, when he says move, you got to be ready to move. So now, like I told you all about corn. See, corn was the Sun Tribe's food, but that's the food of the gods. And I gave you videos on this channel today that you can look that stuff up. So that's why these people shine like the sun. If you look at her, she's shining like the sun. It's almost incredible. And even her face looks angelic. Like it's unbelievable to me. But I've had people like that around me along. I just didn't know the connection. Because one time I had a woman from India ask me, was I from India? I was like, nah. Because there was a corner store right up the street. I was like, no, I'm from up the street. And little did I know, there was these connections. But like I said, it's over lifetimes. And however time is. Because time is we're in a matrix. So we think like 24 hours and all that. But that's also. See, if the reality is God and God is everywhere, that means time is everywhere. So if God never stops creating, that means he's everywhere where he's creating, he or she. Which means if you're really God, if God is manifesting himself through you, if we're all one, then you're everywhere too. And there are some people breaking out of this matrix. And that's real. Like, there's a female contacted me one time. And so she started telling me this stuff. So I started looking at what she was telling me. And one female she told me about was saying all kind of stuff on YouTube. She was doing interviews. She was saying she is related to the queen of Egypt, and they do kill children and stuff like that because they have to live. Saying they're not really from here. She was saying like the same stuff Remedy H be saying. And they kill kids. That's why kids go missing and they do. But they did like she didn't really say what she did to him. She was trying to make you feel sorry for him. I was like, man, I ain't gonna feel sorry for them fucking murderers. She said, but they have to eat. But she left out the torture and the sex part. She ain't talk about that though. So she was saying all this other shit about leaving her body and traveling, like they call it astral planing and shit. So I went back to that other female and I said, is that really your friend? She said, yeah. And she hang out with her and shit. So that shit is like real. But do it sound crazy? Yeah. That's why I was like, yo. But like I know that female, that other female, real. Like I know her. Like I seen, for real. But them two is like they like best friends and shit. And that other girl got like a woman. She's a young woman. She got like black hair, but she be with them. She be with the royalty in Egypt and shit. And the other female is like a model, and she be in California. All right, so we're still getting back to the Sun Tribe and the melanated gods. Now, like I said, I've had people that look like her, like Kiera is like that, because Kiera shine like that in the sun too. Thomas Moore's twin flame. But again, so Thomas sent me that picture of this chick, Nipsey Hussle's niece, look like Kiera. So I looked at, I said, man, she really do. But they also look a lot like even Snoop, because they never said it, but I kind of always thought Nipsey and Snoop was related and shit. A lot of like Snoop look like Anubis, that the so-called jackal dog that rules hell. But remember, or I'm sorry, I take it back, rules the underworld. I say it differently. But that's where they say the melanated people are from anyway. The darkness, the underworld. And that's what Remedy H tell you all the time. So it makes sense that they will look like him. And that female look just like that. And so I did like a photo search on her, and wasn't nothing coming up. Or nothing, like none of the people that came up looked nothing like her. And that's when I told Thomas More, I said, listen, I told you. I said, these are gods. I say, ain't no way in the world I'm gonna do a picture church and have thousands of pictures and don't none of them pictures look nothing like them. Until she came up, the one who y'all looking at. I like, oh shit. And you could just look at her and tell. You had to be really at a real low vibration to be looking at these people and not like, wow. That she look angelic. The color look like the sun. Like it's crazy. But like I said, it used to be a female in this neighborhood back in the 1980s that looked a lot like her. And like me and her, we was kind of cool for a while. But then she was like, we all went to the same Kingdom Hall and shit, and like their whole family. But like these people, all of them. Like I got a friend named Talia, but her middle name is Ray. See, like Sun Ray, because you always, if you looking, you're gonna see like a lot of these females, their names be like K, but the Ka, like Kiera, the Ka, and she even called herself. She used to call herself Oshun Ka Anu Gadi, and Anu is usually like a female goddess. It's kind of associated with the moon. The Ka is like the soul of the spirit. Oshun was a water goddess because everything, all physical life, got to come from the water. And then she just took Gotti because everybody used, especially back then, everybody used the word Gotti for the gangster and shit. But all these females, like her name Kiera, Ka, she, and so that other female that used to live in this neighborhood, I think her name was Key too. It was a long time ago, to like the mid 1990s. But I think her name, she had like Key in her name too. So a lot of times these chicks be having some type of K in their name, Key or some stuff like that. Kai, like right now I work with somebody named Kai. But that's how the universe does it to keep this stuff in your consciousness. But it's like subconscious shit. But as you start to wake up, you know. That's why I says all these. So the female that used to work at that corner store, because when I seen her, I thought she looked Spanish to me, but she was from like probably the same country this female is from that you're looking at. And then sometimes you could tell you got some, like sometimes you could just feel it, like you got a connection to somebody that is deeper than what you know. Just like even some of the questions they ask you, like you be saying, how did she know to ask me that particular question? You know, right at a moment where you ain't expecting it. So that's how you know it's some type of thing going on that you don't see. So anyway, so as time went on, me and that female wasn't as cool as we used to be. But then we was working together, and that's the job I had to take them. They was like a bunch of racists. They was like real racist. But I would stand up to them. So even though there was other people there, other melanated people there, I was the only one that was really standing up to. I took that company on by myself because they were just straight up racist. So they were just real idiots. But it was because they was racist. So like you would be trying to do positive stuff to help the company, and they would flip it. Like everything you did, they would make bad. You know what I'm saying? No matter what you did, but that's what racism is. Like everything you did. Now if a white boy did it, it'd be like, great job, you got a raise, good job. Thinking on your toes, good job. Black guy do it, they just look at you like, why is he doing it? Like what's the reason? Like what that dude said. He said when white people say, "Yo, I was out in the desert and I seen a UFO," and they go, "Oh, you did? You saw a UFO? What it look like? What it look like?" But if a black person say, "Yo, I was out in the desert, I saw a UFO," well, what was you doing out in the desert? You know what I'm saying? So it was like that, like everything you did. So I was always duking it out with them because it was just straight up racist. So she had never that female I'm talking about. She had never really seen none of that, but she knew me. We lived in the same neighborhood, really, and we was cool. But then as time went by, she just thought she was too. She just thought she was better. You know, she just thought I was on her level and shit. So so something happened with the job bosses or whatever. So the vice president came one day and he kind of grabbed me and like pushed me into the tool closet or some shit where you put all the tools, all the brooms and shit. So everybody seen him do it because he did it. He was trying to push up on it because he kind of like wasn't, he kind of he had somewhat muscular but not that muscular. Now he probably thought he was a lot bigger than he was. To me, he wasn't nothing. So he grabbed me because he ended up, like a lot of people, I'm real quiet, so they don't know, and I'm real intelligent, so they don't know. So they just figure you a nerd and shit. So he threw me up in there. And he was trying to come hard, like you're gonna stop saying this back to us. You're gonna start. So he was just trying to just, and the whole time he was looking, I was just looking at all the fucking tools, and inside of my head I was going, you don't know what you just did. I said, in front of all these people, you just grabbed me and threw me in a room. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have tons of witnesses that saw you assault me and shit. You don't grab me and throw me in no fucking room. You crazy? So the whole time he was looking to see some type of fear. My mind was somewhere else. My mind was looking at what I was gonna stab him with, and it was filled up with tools. So I was like in suffering heaven and shit. And I was just looking at that dude. And I wasn't even looking. He was talking, trying to like get my attention, like shake me up. And I was just looking at all the tools and shit, and just looking at shit. So he came out that room, and the very next day, he did something they never did. He took my whole assembly line out to eat. And see, like where I'm at, it used to be real racist. So where he took us it was like this was a restaurant, but the food was real good. But everybody up in there was like either a member of the KKK or the skinheads, and they would all be in there and shit. So that female that I'm talking about was from my neighborhood that look a lot like this female y'all looking at. After that happened, she came up to me. Oh shoot. She said, oh shoot, I thought you was soft. She said, I thought you was soft. She said, I saw what happened. She said, I saw him put you in that room and shit. She said, he came back out. She said, you could tell he was scared. He said, he came back out and then he took y'all to dinner. They don't never take us to dinner. She was like giving me props and shit. Cause like with a female, they need to see that shit. Me, I don't like to show that. Like I don't need that. Like I said, I'm fully confident. I don't have to show you none. I'm just gonna do what I need to do at that time if necessary. I don't have to do none of that. But the reason why I'm saying it because I'm trying to tell you it's all prophetic at the time we in. And everything that's happening is prophetic. But if you ain't really keeping up or you want some low vibration, you don't like to think, you don't like to do no research or something, you ain't really tapped into the universe, you ain't gonna see shit. But what I'm trying to tell you is that's the danger. Because God's not gonna be dealing with everybody. You gotta be on God's level. And right now, all God's people are waking up. So now this female right here, she reminds me a lot of Kiara, Thomas's female. And she's the only one that came up out of all them thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures that look like that, because I knew that was important. But again, it's not me doing it. Like, I get it inside of me. If I didn't know about God and guides and all that, then I would probably think it was me, but it's not me. It's a point being made with this picture. So now I got to explain something else. Now, in the beginning, it was just darkness, stillness, just like Remedy H says. Your Bible tells you that. Genesis chapter 1, John chapter 1. And throughout the Bible, you see this still darkness showing up. With Jesus at Luke chapter 23, verse 43 to 46. With Moses at Exodus 20, verse 21. And the Bible's always telling you that darkness is coming. The day of God, or the day of God's presence, is darkness. Joel chapter 2. Isaiah 60, verse 2. You see the darkness when God made the promise to Abraham. Genesis 15, verses 10 to 15. Genesis 15, verses 10 to 15, or 10 to 13, whichever one. And Revelation chapter 9, where the angel comes down and opens up the bottomless pit, and that darkness shows up again. That darkness symbolizes these melanated people. If you have any melanated in you, you represent that darkness, even if your skin is no longer pitch black or whatever it was in the ancient. Because melanin is just melanin. And if you got God, God is a melanin. God is that's the God particle, whatever you want to call it. It's the darkness by which everything came from and everything returns to. So now, out of that darkness, which was feminine, that's why they call it the divine womb. But she willed something. This is what shows how fantastic she is. Because she could have willed a mini-me, but she didn't want that. She wanted to will something opposite herself. So when they're telling you about Adam and Eve, that's what happened with her. That's why Adam was so long before Eve came. Because in the beginning, I'm talking about God now. I'm not talking about the Bible. I'm talking about God. In the beginning, it was just a still darkness, or the eve, like the night or the evening. All it was darkness for a long, long time. Then she finally willed the opposite of herself to complement herself. That's the original, very first twin flames. But remember, she's the reality. The light is not the reality. The light has to return to the darkness. The physical world is not the reality. It's the matrix. It's the deception. The only reality is her. She's the only thing that's everlasting, all that. You could try to use the Bible to disprove that. But even if you go to like other religions that know this, like people that know Islam that really know, they know this. Now, when she willed that light, and if you ever studied that, I'm not gonna tell you how long it took, but it was millions and millions of years. But you gotta remember, her time is different from our time. So when that light came out, it moved far away from her. And that's why John chapter 1 tells you that the light doesn't comprehend the darkness. Because if you really read John chapter 1, we're talking about the bosom and all that. Because that's what she was hoping for, really. She was hoping to, come out. This would be her first thing ever that came from her. And she wanted it to be together. Because you see God doing that in the Bible. He'll be right there and he knows everything. But he'll be like, now I know. Now I know. So he still wants to experience that. And if you see females, they're the same way. Because I see females, and they want to talk about everything. Like, they want to go through everything. I'll be like, yo, leave me alone and shit. Like, do we have to talk about that too? I got shit to do. So, for her, it was more the experience. But now she has something opposite herself. Compliment. But compliment don't always mean y'all gonna agree. In fact, compliment, a lot of times y'all be arguing and shit. because y'all not gonna see it the same way. But that's what makes everything interesting. So that was the first twin flame separation. And everything she went through, she puts us through, because she's the real creator. Everything came from her. For the most part, whatever he did, he had her there too. And all that abandonment that he went through at the cross, that was because of what I just told y'all. Because everything she went through or goes through, she pushes through, and that's why you still have frictions between men and women to this day, and you still have a lot of separation with people. It's almost like if you got it going good, or you got it going good with somebody, it's almost like you're a weirdo almost. It's like people get mad as fuck, like why what? And they really be hoping y'all fall out. So that's the history. So why did I tell y'all all that? Because now you see this female who represents a lot of that sun energy, but she still got melanin. You'll see. Even looking, like I said, if you've ever worked around these people and stuff, like because where I'm at, a lot of these people have the gas stations and stuff, and the gas station is a gas station and convenience store, and it could be like a wash your car, but they're a lot like us, like the music they listen to and shit. So you can see the melanin, and you got to remember, in the ancient days, we was all through Asia. See, they want you to forget that history. Well, a lot of these people look just like you. If you melanated or whatever, whether you dark skin or light skin, a lot of those people look just like you. And there's a lot of dark skinned people all throughout Asia. Even in the Middle East, they got a lot of dark skinned people. They just don't show you. They don't want you to know that. I've seen people in Arabia and stuff like that that look like Spanish people or Spanish speaking people out here in New York or Puerto Ricans or whatever. But they don't want you to know that, because then you're gonna start waking up. And all that bullshit they've been telling you, oh, you are people, you didn't have any land, you got your people has no history, you didn't do anything. We don't even know where you motherfuckers came from. We just know you were our slaves at one time. And no, we don't owe you. We're looking into it, but we don't owe you nothing. We don't know. We're looking into it. That's all they tell you. So now I told you about the darkness and the light. Now here's where it goes. And that black dot on the forehead represents the beginning. And it's put there for two different reasons: to make them remember where they come from. Even if they don't remember in this life, they still remember. That's why when you're next to somebody, you get that deja vu feeling. Or when you're somewhere that you've been before, maybe even if you get that deja vu feeling. Or you be like, that looks familiar, that sounds familiar. So it is in you. And like I'm telling you, all that gets activated at some point in time. So that black dot first keeps them remembering that you came out of the darkness. That spiritual connection, metaphysical connection is hidden, so it's occultic, esoteric connection, mystical connection. And then the black dot is right at the pineal gland, because that's the wisdom. See, that's her name even in the Bible. When you see the word wisdom in the Bible, it's talking about her, the darkness. And you see her in Proverbs chapter 8, but you also see her throughout the Bible. So I'm saying it again, people want to break up the truth. And that's why the devil is powerful, because divide and conquer. So if I come out here with spiritual truths, first you're talking to a lot of low vibrational. So they're looking all kind of weirdo and all kind of stupid shit. And it don't matter how many references you give them, they still want some low ass frequency. So they still gonna see the same stupid shit no matter how much and I've been doing this for decades. I know that now. That's why I don't waste a whole lot of time with shit. And then you can call that whatever, cornrow, braid, or whatever, but the corn because the holy food was corn. That's why when George Bush was president, right at the reception, he started talking about corn. He's like, oh, people saying because of the reception, they're gonna have trouble eating. He said, let them eat corn. And when it first started, he was like, yo, this recession is for certain people because boom, 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 boom. But like he kind of knew what it was. And they all know it's time. So that's us. What's up? The purpose of the picture was for people to know our history and all that. That was confirmation of the time. And in this country that we're in, there's a lot of stuff going on with your news, but everything that's going on with your news has a bigger fulfillment. And that fulfillment, like I said, is to two things: liberate the people, the real people of God, and bring judgment on those who oppress them. And everything you see going on has to do with that. This is why at the end of the 400-year prophecy, Putin entered Africa with nuclear warheads. So that's telling you how close we are to this being fulfilled. Now, the gift is Ital Imanai keeps telling you all about sound. If you go to Ital Imanai channel right now, and you can even just go Ital space Iman, Iman, and it should come up. Make sure you're at his most recent channel, because he's got a couple of channels and some of his channels are old now. So you got to find the one that says Ital Iman. He should have a video, with the date of 12/8 or 12/9. That's how you know it's 2019. That's how you know. It'll say yesterday or whatever, uploaded yesterday, whatever it says. Because he keeps showing you all this different music, because in that music is the sound, and that's the sound of your deliverance, liberation. And when you study the Bible, like I said, the walls of Jericho came down with the sound. So you got to get used to that. So here with this female, you see the whole goddess thing, even if people don't like you saying it. But that's what you see. It's not just with the hair, but that's our people going way, way back with the gold. Because when they talk about the melanated people, they talk about black gold a lot. She honestly look like she's sun, all that shit. And even the black dot, which is showing honor to the mystical, esoterical, black darkness that everything came from, that all wisdom. That's where you get the word Allah from. That's what Allah really means. Because even Brother Polite said Allah means a female womb. But that female womb is in the Bible. So it's Bible metaphors, Bible symbolism for this person who runs all of this. And also, when your hair is like that, it's also symbolic of the serpent. It's the braid and stuff. And that's the serpent wisdom. And like, if you ever saw Thomas More's twin, Kiara, she has the same thing going up her arm, but is much longer, because she got a big serpent going up her arm. So all Egyptian and from what I'm hearing, the tribal people, because you even see it in the Bible where God did talk about people that mark up their bodies, but the tribal people were always tatting their body up and stuff, and because these are people that like all of them, but really everybody. That's why you got to be very careful when you read the Bible, because there's too many similarities, and it really does look like somebody, like they did with North Korea, South Korea. They just divide. So they come in because the devil is the master division. So y'all might be South North, y'all might be Korea, y'all might just be one Korea, and then they come and they go north south, and then they start giving you stuff. Oh, the north will do this, and then the south will do that, and they go, oh, how can that, and then the south and the north ain't getting along because of this shit this damn devil did. He's a master of deception. That's why when you read scripture, you got to remember that. And sometimes when people tell you to just go with your inward feeling, sometimes they're right. So the gift being given, which I'm trying to tell y'all, it's all about sound. And some of the other stuff I studied too. Like I told you, Gabriel will always be GA. And also, one of the songs I found from her profile is a song with that GA in it and Chunk. Chunk, it's about a train, a railroad and a train. And it was kind of funny because not too long ago, it's a female that I work with. And I never work on Saturday. I worked that Saturday. And that female was there. And she had some type of misunderstanding. I already talked about that before. I don't want to talk about it again. But she had some misunderstanding about me or whatever. But my friend Chuck came out of nowhere. I haven't seen Chuck since like high school days, really. We were in a band together, but that was a long time ago. And he came out of nowhere at the same time that female was there. And he actually went up to her and started talking to her about me. And that would make it look like I was trying to talk to her. It made it look like I sent him, but I hadn't seen this dude in decades. But all that has a reason for everything that happens, even sometimes when it's hard to understand. But I told you a lot of this stuff you're looking at is still twin flames. I used to have a female from where she's from, this person you're looking at, and she said at the same time God was giving me all these revelations. This female used to be at outside my house just standing there, and I would come out, she would just stare at me. Like long before my twin flame was staring at me, that female from India was doing it in 2009. Then when I see my twin in 2014, she would just do the same shit. So all this, like I said, it's transference of energy, and there is power being transmitted when somebody's staring at you and all that. Some people go into hypnotism with just stuff like that. So what I'm trying to tell you, all this shit, it has a place, whether you understand it or not. And whatever happened with that situation with Chuck, now I got a song with the same thing, because the guy some like GA is me, GA is Gabriel, but then because it was dealing with a railroad track, it was going chunk chunk, but his name is like Chuck. So it's not a coincidence, all that shit is planned. So like when you go to some of our great melanated leaders, they were called George and Charles and all that. A lot of those people that you think were white people in Europe, a lot of them weren't. A lot of them were like melanated people. So Chuck is another name for Charles and stuff. So they do all that to keep it in your head so you remember who you are, because all that's going to be reactivated. Because if they weren't going to use it again, they wouldn't care if you didn't remember. But they keep it in your head to make sure it stays, because it's going to get activated again. Just like the pyramids in Egypt, that's going to get activated too. Because even if you look up in the sky at nighttime, like after 10 o'clock, you see how close Orion is. You see Sirius, you see Orion. All that stuff is connected to them Egyptian pyramids. Because the three stars of Orion is the belt, the three pyramids in Giza. So all that stuff is sending stuff out. Just like Remedy 8 said, right now things are going on where all this energy, all these frequencies are being put in the atmosphere. So while this devil is trying to smoke us out, choke us out, it's also a lot of other stuff going on in the frequency. And y'all gotta, this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all gotta remember that them 400 years is just about up. So they really can't use that no more. You understand what I'm saying? You can only use it if you allow it to happen. The devil can only have a power over you if you allow it. If you don't allow that shit to happen, you can't do shit. So you gotta really believe it. But if you don't believe it, just like I said, say a bully want to beat you up, and some sensei try to train you. Now, if you believe in yourself and believe in the sensei's teachings, you'll probably do pretty good against that bully. But if you really don't believe it, the moment that bully come up on you and you start thinking, he's probably gonna knock you out again. If he was already whipping your ass, he's probably gonna keep whipping your ass, because you don't have no confidence in your sensei. You ain't got no confidence in yourself, and you scared to death. Same thing with this beast. That's why I said, out here on YouTube was a brother named Dolo, King of the Moors, King of the Murs. If you watch Dolo, he went wherever he wanted to. And when he would walk past them beasts, even beasts with authority, and he would just whatever. And if anything looked a certain way, he'd start flashing his signs. I mean, he's like, he called him, he's a Freemason, but he's not one that bends over like that. But even as soon as they see them signs and stuff like that, they already know. So he don't be afraid. But I'm saying you don't need. I never use it, because I did the same shit. But I just trust God. I don't fear nothing. Nothing like that. So I don't have the same problem, because it's like a dog. That's something my friend from Puerto Rico taught me. He said if you scared, of course the dog is gonna bite you. He said, but if you're not scared, that dog ain't gonna bite you. And I used to be with him all the time, because first we did garbage together. We had the same job, garbage. He used to live here, and plus we used to knock on doors, go door to door, and we would see a whole lot of dogs, and he would walk right up to them dogs, and them dogs look vicious. He would walk right up to them. Like sometimes he just knock him out the way. He don't even know the dog. He walk right up to him, the dog big, he just knock it out of his way and keep walking. And that dog don't do shit. I've never seen a dog growl at him abided him. Now, I'm telling y'all again, we garbage men in a rich white Jewish neighborhood. Like a lot of white people and a lot of them neighborhoods are Jewish. So if you think them people ain't got no dogs, see your ass up in there. Who do you know them dogs is coming out? Because how we used to do the route, you don't always see the truck. Because sometimes they send one guy up a street, he be pulling that street by himself. Because we got to go up in the yard and get the garbage. So they don't have to put it on the curb. We got to go get it. These rich people. So you got to take it. They just send you up a street. You cut through a backyard. You'll be on the other street, rolling that barrel, getting garbage. So they see you like, who this guy? And them dogs start coming out. So he was never scared. So in this video, I gave you a lot of metaphysical stuff, but to me, that this female is like prophetically speaking, that's like a Mother Mary message, and Mother Mary is just another name for Isis or whatever goddess they had over her people. But they're all telling you it's getting closer and closer to the end. So the gift is the description box is her singing a song, and if you click that link, you'll see her singing. I'm out.